Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. You're watching Oman News. First, the headlines. Consultative agreements and works of designing 5 new hospitals are signed. The Minister of Health states to Radio and Television of Sultanate of Oman.
What I urge the public is for those who have chronic diseases, elderly, and the younger generation to delay, if possible, the visit to holy places, Mecca and Medina, this year for Hajj and Umrah.
The Public Authority for Consumer Protection launches a website for recall and warnings to unfit goods from different world countries. And the Public Authority for Stores and Food Reserve acquaints traders with its work nature and role in providing food. Those with the headlines, now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of condolences to the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of Saudi Arabia, on the death of Her Royal Highness Princess Al Jawahra bin Badr bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. State Council in its 8th regular session approved amendments of some provisions of insurance company law, including amending 6 articles beside adding 2 others in the law. It also approved amendment of some law provisions of vehicle insurance law, which includes amending 3 articles in addition to new articles in the law. It also ratified amendments to capital market law, which came in 14 articles in addition to new articles in the law. It was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfoud Al-Mandari, Chairman of the State Council, with attendance of a number of the honourable members. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health, has signed a number of agreements to provide consultancy services for designing and supervising works for 5 new hospitals. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rabai.
His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health, had signed today 5 agreements with the design and supervision consultancy services for the construction of 5 new hospitals, which will be located in As-Suwaiq in Al-Batina Governorate, Khasab in Al-Musandam, Najat in North Al-Batina, Samail in Al-Dakhiliya, and Al-Falah in South Al-Sharqiyya.
I'm very pleased that today we've signed an agreement with one of the international companies for the design and consultancy of 5 hospitals. The reason for that, most of our institutions, health institutions that we are practicing in now, were designed in the early 90s. They are not suitable for the current healthcare system. Therefore, a committee was formed a year ago, and they looked at the international standards in the design of hospitals, and they completed their work early this year, and today we've signed basically the result of their recommendation.
The signing ceremony was held in the presence of their Excellencies Under-Secretaries, officials of the Ministry of Health, and representatives of the Design and Supervision Consultancy. In addition to these 5 new hospitals, other projects are envisioned.
In addition to these projects that I've mentioned, we have also 17 primary healthcare institutions which are in the pipeline. We have other hospitals that already under design, Saham and Al-Nama in Wilayat Al-Mudaybi. The headquarters for the ministry, this one is one of the oldest in Al-Khwair. The design for the headquarters is ready as well, and hopefully the construction will start before the end of this year.
His Excellency is also optimistic that a tender for Salalah Sultan Qaboos Hospital will be announced soon.
One of the largest projects that the Ministry of Health has been working on over the last 4 years is Sultan Qaboos Hospital in Salalah. The final detailed design for that hospital is submitted to the ministry, and we hope that before the end of July, the tender for construction also will be ready.
Dr. Saeed bin Khamis Al-Kalbani, Director General of Engineering Affairs at the Ministry of Health, confirmed that the new hospital in As-Suwaiq will consist of 300 beds and 53 outpatients clinics embodying other health care services, while the Khasab, Najat, Samail and Al-Falah hospitals will have a 150-bed capacity with 35 outpatients clinics. These clinics will include general interns and surgery clinics, pediatrics, ophthalmology, dental, orthopedic, maternity, and the accident emergency units. These will also include a triage room assessment and resuscitation services, anesthesia, and ultrasound, in addition to other necessary services. Signing of these agreements is part of the completion of healthcare plan for the whole governorates of the Sultanate of Oman. From the Ministry of Health, I'm Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television.
On the sideline of the signing ceremony, His Excellency the Minister of Health advised citizens, especially the elderly and those who have chronic diseases, to postpone their visit to the holy places in Saudi Arabia due to the fear of coronavirus. More details in the following report.
On the sideline of the signing ceremony, His Excellency the Minister of Health pointed out on the improvement of healthcare services witnessed. The minister concluded by stating that coronavirus is being strictly monitored and controlled in the Sultanate by the Ministry of Health. He, however, carefully cautioned those wishing to go on pilgrimage to rather delay their travel until this deadly health pandemic is eliminated. Your Excellency, people are asking about the development of different infectious disease. What would you like to give a comment on that?
Before infectious disease, let me say that we've been working parallel on projects and also continuous improvement of healthcare in general. Let me use one example which is very sensitive everywhere you go in healthcare: waiting lists, appointments. Before 2 years or 3 years, the waiting list in many disciplines, particularly surgical, was between a year to 2.5 years. For example, knee replacement, the minimum wait was over 2 years. I'm glad and pleased to say that the waiting list now is 4 months or less. Certain procedures like angiography, the waiting list was 14 months. Now it's less than 4 weeks. So the outpatient also in the specialized clinics, the waiting list in most of them is less than 4 weeks, and this is something which we are very proud of, and it is up to the international standard. Infectious diseases, of course, we have to be always on guards. The coronavirus, which been talked about in all the media forms, it is unfortunately here in the region and worldwide now. But in the Sultanate, up till today, there were only 2 cases. Unfortunately, both cases were fatal because of the pre-morbid conditions that these 2 patients had, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, renal impairment. What I urge the public is for those who have chronic diseases, elderly, and the younger generation, to delay, if possible, the visit to holy places, Mecca and Medina, this year for Hajj and Umrah, because the risk is definitely there with the crowd. In addition, as the media has been very cooperative, I would urge them also, the public, to follow the media, to basically follow the healthy practice during coughing, sneezing, while they are in crowded places. But coronavirus, as yet, there is no medicine for it, no treatment for it, there's no vaccine. So the best and the only way to avoid it is prevention. And prevention is by practicing healthy practice and avoiding, when possible, crowded areas where the virus is known to be.
The best and the only way is to practice prevention methods by following healthy practices. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television.
Still to come in our news bulletin. With the aim to provide youth with the necessary skills to enter the business world, the 4th commercial week starts in the Wilaya of Ibri.
تخلص من الازدحام في مكتبك باستخدام ورق دبل اي. دبل اي، ورق بجودة مضاعفة. ورق دبل اي، سرعة وسلاسة.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Gulf Cooperation Council Building Code Forum, which hosted by the Sultan, highlighted issuing unified building code in GCC, unified laws, scientific, technical and administrative systems at the field of constructions and buildings. The forum discussed the importance of enhancing trade exchange among the GCC countries and increasing investment volume at industrial sector. It reviewed the decisions of Technical Council which related to GCC Building Code and reviewed also that e-connection in addition to discuss financial support of the project. The forum also discussed technical committee's reports and viewed second GCC Building Code Forum recommendations, besides organizing third forum in addition to establish supporting teams for technical committees. GCC Building Code project is considered one of the important technical projects which aim to uplift engineering work in GCC area. Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry branch in the Governorate of Dakhiliya organized a meeting gathering traders of foodstuff with His Excellency Dr. Rashid bin Salim Al Masroori, Chairman of the Public Authority for Stores and Food Reserve. The meeting aims to acquaint the traders with the authority's role in handling their approved distributors and touched upon investments projects available in the field of establishing stores, marketing and distributing food. The meeting also reviewed the authorities' future plans, showing their efforts in facing challenges of food safety. The chairman of the authority said that the number of approved distributors in the different governorates of the Sultanate exceeds 360, but the actual ones are less. Discussions further covered activating partnership with the private sector and acquainting with development aspects to meet admissions of foodstuff traders in the villages of Dakhiliya. Eventually, they revealed various projects carried out by the authority during this phase, particularly the project of completing stores and managing offices, as well as quality management system and inserting modern technologies to facilitate distributor service. The Public Authority for Consumer Protection launched a website for recall and warnings. It includes all the information regarding various unfit goods and products, namely cars, electronic and electric devices, foodstuff, medicine, toys and others. The information and data are provided by a specialized team in cooperation with various institutions and government bodies. It was considered a new step by Consumer Protection to spread awareness in this field in various governorates of the Sultanate. Oman Dry Dock Company has been awarded the Gas Transport and Technigas license at the Macedonia Shipping Trade Fair in Athens, Greece. The agreement about granting ODC the GTT license was signed on behalf of the Sultanate by His Excellency Dr. Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Hinai, advisor at the Ministry of Finance and Chairman of the Board of Directors of ODC, and by Philippe Bertirotier, GTT Chief Executive Officer. It is worth mentioning that ODC has repaired more than 245 of different sizes since it started its operation in 2011, including 50 vessels from Greece. Getting the GTT license is an advanced step for ODC in its endeavors to become one of the key world destinations for repair and maintenance of local international gas tankers. Directorate General of the Regional Municipalities and Water Resources in the Governorate of Wusta has recorded 25 violations of land grabbing. The team assigned with the task of confiscation commenced its work in Bantut area in the Vilayah of Mahut after it carried out all legal procedures against the violators who did not prove their legal ownership of the lands. With the aim to provide youth with the necessary skills to enter the business world and give them new ideas to help them to develop their commercial projects, the 4th Commercial Week started in the Vilayah of Ibri in the Governorate of Tahira. The Commercial Week, which organized by Ibri Technology College, also aimed to support the students' initiatives in the field of entrepreneurship and get acquainted with the methods of marketing. The event was associated by entrepreneurship exhibition with the participation of a number of institutions concerned in the programs of small and medium enterprises and financial institutions. These institutions provide financial programs, management planning, and also provide youth with talents.
تخلص من الازدحام في مكتبك باستخدام ورق AA. AA ورق بجودة مضاعفة. ورق AA سرعة وسلاسة.
The Public Authority for Civil Aviation monitored the tropical weather condition in the east of Arabian Sea. The latest weather analysis indicated that the low pressure is developing into a cyclone within the coming 48 hours. The latest predictions show that there is no direct impact on the South-North atmosphere during the next 4 days. Weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the South-North. Winds will be northerly to northeasterly light to moderate along the coast of Sea of Oman, while it will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate along the rest of the South-North. Seas along the coast will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Consultative agreements and works of designing 5 new hospitals are signed. The Minister of Health says to radio and television of Sultanate of Oman.
What I urge the public is for those who have chronic diseases, elderly, and the younger generation to delay, if possible, the visit to holy places, Mecca and Medina this year for Hajj and Umrah.
The Public Authority for Consumer Protection launches a website for recall and warnings to unfit goods from different world countries. And the Public Authority for Stores and Food Reserve acquaints traders with its work nature and role in providing food. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studio, thank you for watching and good night.